Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Davo from Archon Esports, bringing you another 1v1 StarCraft 2 cast today. This time on Tal'Darim Altar, this time between two Terrans. Our first Terran in the bottom left-hand corner is Ketroc, who is our red Terran. Yes! And then in the top right-hand corner, we have a Blitchiz, who is our pink Terran, still rocking the pink. Last time I cast him, he was definitely rocking the pink. Excellent. Both really good players, actually. Ketroc is on YouTube with quite a lot of videos about strategy. He's a really good player. He's 33 years old and he's based in Canada. He is also High Masters League. He has made a lot of popular builds as well. He makes lots of videos, instructional videos and stuff like that. Really good guy. And then in the top right hand corner we have the submitter of this video today. He actually put it on Reddit and I pinched it off Reddit because I like Blitchiz. I like his play style. I've cast him before and he kicked ass then, and I hope he's going to kick ass now. And he is based in the USA. He is a pretty confident streamer and he is also a Masters League Terran. Yay! Cool, and of course he is still rocking the pink, and many people have much respect for the Terrans that rock the pink, as it were. Which pink I'm on about, you can decide. That was a bit dirty. Goodness me, I am a terrible, horrible man. Some might even say a despicable person. Excellent. So we have both players pretty much making essentially the same stuff at the moment and at the same timings, and this is how you can tell that our players are pretty good, seeing as they're making pretty much the same things at more or less the same time. We do have an orbital command on the way for Blitchiz as well, which is incredibly standard. A lot of Terran really like to do this just after their barracks finish, so they can take advantage of the mule, which of course returns 30 minerals instead of 5 on each trip, I believe, which is of course pretty cool. Pretty cool indeed. I'm not sure if this is pre or post patch, but I think it was 1.4.2 came out very recently, with the thing regarding mules, meaning that they will only return 30 minerals no matter what mineral patch they're on. So any gold minerals won't return any higher in a mule's payload now. Just a little bit of trivia for you guys. It is not actually relevant to this map because, this being Tal'Darim Altar, there is no gold minerals on the map anyway. Hooray! I was just simply informing, you know, broadening some horizons and all that good stuff. We do have a reactor coming down now for Ketroc as well, so he will be pumping quite a lot of marines. A nice spread out here by Blitchiz, making sure that no pesky SCVs can get through anywhere. They will all get pretty murdered pretty quickly. Yes, indeed. Quite bad English there. Repetition, ooh, that is not a good one. The watchtowers on Tal'Darim Altar are actually pretty important as well, especially when your player is in cross positions like this, because if you hold these two watchtowers here, you will see your opponent coming through the centre of the map, and your opponent will also have some watchtowers here as well, which he will be able to see you with. So overall, it can actually lead into a little bit of a struggle for watchtower positioning, because if you or your opponent holds the two watchtowers closest to you, then it can be quite difficult to get out of their line of sight unless you do medvac drops or stuff like that. We do have a switch coming down here from Blitchiz right now, with the starport going onto the tech lab, which was made on the factory, so it does look like we'll be seeing some Banshees out of our player today, our pink Terran Blitchiz today. Of course, with more marines as well. We have Ketroc working on his siege tech as well, and he also has a starport going down too. These players both look like they've pretty much gone a fairly slick 1-1-1 style. I don't think it's the exact 1-1-1 build, but it's definitely within the same style, which is of course getting starport out pretty quickly. And it would be interesting to see, actually, if Blitchiz starts working on Cloak anytime soon. But he won't, because he is actually just going to be switching his Starport and Barracks over, so he can start pumping out some Vikings to shoot down the Medivacs, one can only presume, which is a pretty nice alternate sort of strategy. I like that, because obviously Medivacs can be a huge pain in the arse. Okay, so we have a Marine and Tank move out now from Ketroc as well. The siege mode for the tanks has literally just finished, and of course tanks can be very, very, very deadly indeed for Marines. I mean, if a shell lands on this guy's head, he will be dead instantly, and there will most likely be not much of his colleagues left to speak of. So that's why I like TVT. As all the bits of Marine like to fly everywhere, and it's very, very fun to watch indeed. Blitchiz has his siege tech half done now. Ketroc has actually got another tank on the way as well, but he does need to deploy this tank pretty quickly, otherwise it might get taken out. Not actually using the deploy ability on that tank right now, because Blitchiz's army is actually quite mobile. There's not too much of a point doing it right now. Sieging up back there could have been kind of counterproductive, but on the other hand, sieging here while the factory is still in range is very much productive indeed. Bam! There we go. Bits of Marine fly in each and every direction. It's very, very fun to watch indeed. So Blitch's siege tech has finished, but this has to be a kind of an uncomfortable situation to be in for Blitchiz right about now as well. We have 2 Vikings scouting the map here for Blitchiz as well, just a quick update. And unfortunately these Vikings are really chewing the HP off this factory, and it doesn't look like the factory will go down. Luckily a tank comes out of there just in time for Blitchiz, so it means we have 3 tanks on 3. Of course, Blitchiz does have a slight advantage at this point, because all of his production structures are right near the attacking force, as it were. I mean, this is beginning to look a little bit desperate now, unfortunately, for Blitchiz. It does look like his barracks might fall to the siege tank. Yes, it does, unfortunately. This siege tank here that was cunningly dropped by a medvac is doing quite a lot of damage on the starport as well. These tanks do look like they'll be taken out pretty quickly by this Banshee, as there is no anti-air in the area. Luckily, the Banshee is still there with 2 HP. Oof, blimey, which is not very much at all. So after that attack, Blitchiz is left with more or less no production structures, which is a pretty scary situation to be in when you are against a Terran with the full degree of production structures. Well, a good degree of production structures, let's say. Yeah. So that can be pretty scary times indeed. Both players resting on exactly 25 SCVs at the moment. But Ketroc throwing down 3 mules, so it does actually look like maybe he kind of forgot to put mules down throughout that entire attack. But, I mean, it was a pretty intense attack, and many could have said... Is that siege tank rotating? That siege tank is definitely slowly rotating. And I'm not even hallucinating. That is freaking cool. Okay. And it stopped. It's kind of wiggling now. Excellent. Wow. Okay, so in the meantime, Blitchiz is actually expanding right about now as well. Of course, his expand is nicely shielded by about 4 siege tanks and around 9 marines. Not a lot can be done to crack this defense at the moment from Ketroc. I would say that Blitchiz does actually have a pretty good amount of siege tanks, considering what just happened to his main base there. Quite a lot of stuff died in very rapid succession indeed, and that was quite a dangerous situation for Blitchiz, unfortunately. But here we go. That could have turned into another fairly deadly situation for Blitchiz as well, as if Ketroc had set the siege tanks up on the low ground and used the Viking scout the high ground, these marines and SCVs are really wandering straight into the path of all these siege tanks, unfortunately, and boom, all of those marines and SCVs get killed pretty much outright. These siege tanks here are going to be very vulnerable indeed to, ooh, I don't know, a Banshee, if that Banshee is still about. Which it is, it's just halfway across the map. With 13 kills, she is a sergeant, excellent. Cool beans. Blitchiz, unfortunately, having to delay his expansion a little bit, just so he doesn't lose out on all of those minerals So he doesn't lose out on 400 minerals. I think if you cancel a command center while it's been building, you only get 300 back. So he only lost out on 100 minerals rather than 400, which of course is an optimum result at any point in time. Okay, and we do have Stim on the way for Blitchiz as well, as well as the +1 weapon upgrade for him too. And it does look like Ketroc's expansion is up and running fully at this point in time. I'd say that Ketroc is a tiny bit ahead at this point. He does have an expansion up. Their forces are fairly even. I mean, Blitchiz has quite a lot more Marines. But despite that, really, he doesn't have an expansion, so that's one of the main reasons he has so much more Marines. And Ketroc actually going for the high-sec auto-tracking, which I can't understand why. I mean, yeah, he's got a planetary fortress, and he's got quite a lot of missile turrets, so I guess it could come in handy. There's no point not to get it, I suppose. It's, you know, why not? Excellent. And for Blitchiz, we do actually have the +1 armor on the way as well. So his Marines will be fully kitted out soon. But unfortunately, they don't have combat shields just yet, which are very, very important, actually, I'd say. Obviously, Marines with combat shields are a little bit tougher than Marines without combat shields. But hey, as I was saying earlier, if a siege tank shell lands on your head, a combat shield is probably not going to help all too much anyway. So we do have an SCV up in the top left-hand corner from Blitchiz that does look like it might be putting down a crafty expansion that his opponent will not know about, which is really cool. That is pretty much the only reason I can think that SCV is there. And a lot of Vikings just landed there to destroy these destructible rocks. So Ketroc can take his expansion in a more generic kind of fashion, a more generic kind of place. But I mean, for a Terran that has been assaulted so badly in this game so far, such as Blitchiz, taking a hidden expansion may not be such a bad idea, but we'll see if that actually comes to fruition, or if I'm just being an idiot and saying the probe is there for a reason, when it is in fact there for no reason. But yes, I'm not being an idiot. Hooray! It's very rarely that happens, and he is actually building a command center in the top left-hand corner of the map, as well as clearing these destructible rocks as well on his, let's say, natural third. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here. Maybe a double expand coming up from Blitchiz. Who knows? It'll be very interesting to see what actually happens. I'm looking forward to it immeasurably. And okay, so both of our players are really, really gunning for the macro right about now as well. Expanding. It looks like Blitchiz might actually be expanding twice fairly soon. A probe transfer going down as well. He has double expanded. That's crazy. Awesome. Really good. So quite a lot of really epic macro going on at the moment. And what is this from Ketroc? That's right. We have a fusion core on the way. Brilliant. So we are going to see some of those crazy bearded piped fools, which are battle cruisers, entering the arena. That is, I presume that we're going to see that, unless Ketroc just got it to research the upgrades and then not get battle cruisers or something like that, because the fusion core actually quite literally only makes battle cruisers. That's the only thing that it enables the making of. A nice slick probe transfer here from Blitchiz will help that expansion get its macro on the way quite nicely. And now it's quite important to note that Blitchiz is actually an expansion up on Ketroc as well, which could help him flip the balance a little bit. I mean, Blitchiz actually has quite a larger army as well. There's really quite a lot in it. For example, Blitchiz has 50 Marines, Ketroc has 8. They share roughly the same amount of siege tanks, but Ketroc has really, really stocked up on those Vikings instead, and it does actually look like he's kind of going for an Armada Terran. Not an Air Terran, as some may say. No, it is an Armada Terran. Yeah, because he's actually getting the ship weapons upgrade as well. So it's pretty interesting to see, and it does look like Blitchiz is actually playing, I'd say, roughly standard at this point in time. I'm not entirely sure if he knows that the battlecruiser craziness is about to happen in his face. No, he probably doesn't. So pretty much anything could be coming out of his opponent at this point in time. We also have a sensor tower, hooray, up at the moment for Ketroc, which is pretty much saying, look, I've expanded here. Yes! The third base there for Ketroc. But, you know, you can't blame him, really. Most Terrans would just expand there as per usual anyway, but not if you're Blitchiz. If you're Blitchiz, you expand. You expand, I suppose, in your 4th position, and you expand in someone else's main if there was more people playing on this map. And that's Blitchiz right there. Sticks a sensor tower right in the middle of the plains, just so it has the most vision of what is actually coming up and what is going on. We also have a Marine taking this watchtower here, and this is really what I was referring to earlier. See, we have Marines from Blitchiz on pretty much at these areas of the map on the, let's see, northeast. Yeah, on the northeast kind of section of this big shoebox thing in the middle of the map. And then in the southwest side we have the Ketroc Marines in the red here. I think perhaps the Ketroc Marines are so angry at the Blitchiz Marines because they don't get to wear the pink armor. I think perhaps that is actually why this war is kicking off. It's obviously nothing to do with the Kaprulu sector, blah 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 blah. Which of course it is. I am merely practical joking. Excellent. Wow, a grand total of 4 battlecruisers on the way from Ketroc right now as well. So he is quite literally going for his air armada that I was stating earlier. A lot of Vikings as well. You would not want to be a, let's say, a stray medevac at this point in time. That could be a very, very dangerous thing indeed. But Blitchiz is getting his his 3 weapons and 3 armor upgrade as well as expanding again, bringing his expansion number. Wow, he's double expanding again. Bringing his expansion number up to 6. Which obviously puts him 2 ahead of his opponent as well. And I wouldn't say this base is fully saturated just yet either. So, I mean, well, Blitchiz, you know, new bases aren't saturated at all because, well, at the moment they're just a grey slab in the middle of nowhere. But what I'm trying to say is Blitchiz has double expanded, and for macro reasons, that is kick ass. Also, all of his forces are gathered around the sensor tower right here, which will give him a really, really good idea of what is actually coming. Of course, that's very useful indeed. It does look like Blitchiz will be doing a really big move out perhaps soon. He has just undeployed his tanks. It does look like he might be moving out. All of those Marines are literally about to be legging it across the map in their sweet pink armor, as I said previously, in a relatively decent formation, and it won't be long now until Ketroc sees this on his early warning system, which he is just seeing right now as that Marine falls to the masses and masses of Blitchiz Marines. It's like in Independence Day, where they get the signal and then all of mankind gets raped. That's what it's like. Sure, Dave, that's exactly what it's like. Okay, so we do have the Air Armada, the Terran Armada lining up here on what is the high ground. Of course, battlecruisers fry Marines pretty badly, so Blitchiz will have to kind of be a little bit careful here. Also, Blitchiz does actually know that his opponent is expanding, but what he didn't know but is about to find out is about all of the battlecruisers that his opponent has. That Marine unfortunately found out the first time. Bam, a scan going down by Blitchiz just to find out doubly sure of exactly what he has just seen. And here we go, we do have a lot of Marine death going on. I just had to rotate the screen slightly there. And wow, quite a lot of Marines died. Yeah, will he be able to DPS this down? Maybe. I mean, Vikings aren't the best ground-to-ground unit, I will say that, but I'm not sure that the Marines are actually going to be able to... No, unfortunately the Marines weren't able to do anything here, but something that the Vikings would have been useful a little while ago. But, I mean, Ketroc did have a lot of Vikings there as well. So, I mean, Blitchiz was actually going to have to be really, really careful about taking his Vikings into that fight there as well. but maybe it would have been a little bit useful if he had done that. We do have more Marines in perfect formation, absolutely legging it down to this watchtower, where these siege tanks and Vikings sat here, wondering what to do next, panicking even, perhaps. Wow, this is what you call a macro Terran. This is really, really, really impressive macro, actually. And you can see right now he's started making Thors as well, which of course are really, really good anti-air. Because, well, they do splash damage, and that kicks ass. It really, really kicks ass. Also, Blitchiz has dropped a fusion core now, so he is up to the same monkey business as his opponent. The grand question is, which one will get Yamato cannons first? I am looking forward to having a look at that, depending if... Oh, wait, no, sorry. Ketroc's got Yamato cannons. Yes, he does. He must have got them when I wasn't looking, which is quite a lot of the time, unfortunately, for my casting abilities. Oh, dear. Okay, so this expansion here does look like it might go up from Ketroc right now. He does need to defend it slightly against these Marines, or perhaps he doesn't, as the Planetary Fortress is about to become active, and that Marine is just standing out of range to actually do anything, but no worries, there's a lot of battlecruisers on the way to try and deal with that. Now we have a lot of battlecruisers coming in here, but they are easily surpassed by Blitchiz's 16 Vikings that he has on the field as well. But this is actually a pretty epic standoff right now of battlecruisers and Vikings, and it does look like Blitchiz's army will be winning this engagement as well and pushing a little bit further. Ketroc will need to be kind of careful. Blitchiz will have to be careful of these missile turrets from Ketroc, because they are actually dotted about the place fairly effectively in the third base and in the second base as well. But I mean, really, at this point in time, if we look at the income for Ketroc, it's really, really good. Really good, especially considering that his opponent is so far ahead of him in terms of expansions. But unfortunately, Blitchiz hasn't actually been able to saturate his expansions just yet. But enough of that economic talk. We get enough of that on the news about how the whole world is going to pot, or at least the European Union is. Unlucky for us, hey? And we can just have a look at this massive army instead, which is literally huge. As I was saying earlier, this is the very definition of your macro Terran. It's very impressive indeed. I think Terrans are pretty difficult to actually macro effectively as. Really, I think they're probably one of the harder races to actually macro as, to be honest. And that's why they're so good as a beginner race, I think. And they're very identifiable. You know, a tank is a tank, for example. Whereas if a new player was come to go and play Protoss, they might be like, well, I know what a tank is, but what on earth's an immortal, or what's a stalker? And it doesn't look like these battlecruisers will be getting involved in a little bit of a scuffle here. Unfortunately, there's quite a lot of Vikings that do look like they'll be taking the battlecruisers out at the moment. And I don't mean taking them out as in like Valentine's Day or anything like that, or anything like that. No, I mean taking them out as in blowing them into tiny little pieces, and all the crew will be turned into little fried pieces of marine like that, which slowly evaporate into nothingness. So we have more and more Thors on here in the field for Blitchiz as well, which of course are very, very good anti-air, and they have full weapons upgrades too, which is more than we can say for Ketroc's ships at this point. Here we do have a bit of a curious situation, as there is a planetary fortress that has just been made right where Blitchiz wanted to expand to. I think a curious situation is probably the best thing to call this. We have a constant drain on Ketroc's resources here. That is which is this siege tank slowly chipping away at his opponent's planetary fortress here. Some SCVs getting dumped, I think, by Blitchiz as well, which of course will allow the army size to be a lot bigger. And here is a really big attack. Sorry I missed the beginning of it. Quite a lot of force getting involved. A lot of Yamato cannons going down as well. Wow, this is epic. Like, really epic. These SCVs here are working furiously on repairing this battlecruiser, even though it must be like, I don't know, at least 6 feet above their heads. And these Vikings in the back here are also landing to take out the siege tank from Blitchiz. Unfortunately, they all get taken out because Vikings, as I said earlier, aren't the strongest ground-to-ground unit. And it does look like these battlecruisers, with the aid of those SCVs, will win the day for Ketroc, despite Blitchiz's really, really nice macro and the fact that he is just constantly streaming units. I mean, you can follow a path all the way back to his base, and he is still streaming. That's awesome. He might want to take down this expansion sometime soon. I don't know, it's not doing the most mining, so I guess it's not a massive priority, but I could guess that maybe it would be a nice thing to do, put his opponent down a little bit on expansions. But unfortunately, these bloody SCVs do just take a lot of time and effort to repair something which is just going to go down anyway. I mean, they should really give up. Really give up and take advantage of all the alcohol that they keep in their cabin and their cigarettes they do like to smoke. And there we go, that expansion does go down for Ketroc, unfortunately for him as well. Blitchiz has been doing quite a lot of really, really tasty expanding, to the degree where he is literally expanding just underneath his opponent's command centers. That is how much Blitchiz is expanding. Unfortunately, there's quite a lot of Hellions killing a lot of his SCVs at the moment. Hellions are not very good against siege tanks, however, but they have got speed on their side, so they are able to just drive off. But I mean, this Hellion only has 15 HP left, and they won't do very well against this planetary fortress that Blitchiz definitely has here, as we can see right there. Hellions are not the strongest units to take on planetary fortresses with. Ketroc doing another expansion right here. He is actually going to have to somehow manage to get his probes into this expansion through Blitchiz's constant reinforcing line, which is just still happening. To my amazement, there's just a constant amount of units that are being produced at the moment for Blitchiz as well. Mind you, though, the income from Ketroc is still higher, which, well, I mean, it kind of surprises me, actually. Well, there's not many SCVs on this mineral line here. I mean, Blitchiz has a lot of money, and that is very useful for when you're trying to be as epic as Blitchiz is being right now. And this is going to be another big attack here. I'm not actually sure who's going to win at all. I wish I could see what was more of going on. These Marines in the middle absolutely getting fried here. It's like a Viking off almost. It does look like perhaps Blitchiz has more Vikings than his opponent, therefore might actually win the day here. But 2 more Vikings balancing out a little bit from Ketroc. But no, it does look like Blitchiz will win that engagement there. Wow, this is turning out to be really epic. Really, really epic. I mean, on the game description, I think it said epic, but this is just a little bit more epic than I would have thought. We have the Corvid reactor, which increases the... I believe it increases... Correct me if I'm wrong, by the way. It increases the amount of energy that battlecruisers spawn with. But earlier I did look at the fusion core, and seriously, what does that do? I'm not sure what that does. There we go, that's terrible. Oh dear, the Corvid reactor. It's probably something to do with the science vessel, to be fair. It's not called the science vessel anymore, Dave. It's not StarCraft 1. It's called the Raven. Oh my god. Oh, at least I'm in touch with my roots. Anyway, speaking of being in touch with things, these Hellions are quite in touch with this SCV right now. To the extent where he is just getting fried. That little nervous twitch there is still going on in his hand. Ouch! All he wanted to do was harvest some minerals. We've got a pretty big drone, or SCV even. Okay, why don't these SCVs just stay on this? Yeah, there we go. That was a question that was burning in my mind for about half a second before I said it. And we have some sort of bizarre planetary fortress off going on here. And Blitchiz's army waiting out here for a little bit more reinforcements to come, perhaps. I mean, Ketroc does actually still have quite a lot of battle cruisers as well, but this is, I mean, this is an impressive game, seeing as Tal'Darim Altar is a big map. It's a very, very big map indeed, and both these players have actually started to mine the place out a little bit, which is really impressive. But at the moment, I must say, it is not looking good for Ketroc at all, seeing as he is only mining 100 minerals on average. And that isn't enough to make a battle cruiser with, unfortunately. So unless he can do something here, I think Blitchiz is actually going to take this game. And this looks like one more ginormous push, which could win Blitchiz the game, or at least do so much damage that I think Ketroc might find it impossible to come back from. And yes, it does look like this could be it now for Ketroc, unfortunately for him. These siege tanks here will start chipping away at this planetary fortress's health, and these Vikings will run amok in the main base as well. They will just have to be a little bit careful of the missile turrets, and they are all going to land. That's right, air to ground Vikings, and blow up quite a lot of stuff. Boom, excellent. At this point in time, it looks exceedingly desperate for Ketroc at the moment. His mineral collection rate has actually shot up quite heavily, and I'm sure it will shoot up even more when these SCVs get to this command center as well. But he's losing a lot of his production structures to these Vikings, and they do look like they will be taking down the starports and quite a lot of various things. There is a battle cruiser coming out of this particular starport as well, despite it doesn't have a tech lab anymore. And as soon as that battle cruiser comes out, all of these Vikings are going to lift off and blow it up. Basically, it'll be pretty interesting to see if this battle cruiser does actually manage to come out. I want to see this quite a lot, but unfortunately, no, that battle cruiser has been cancelled by the user, which is Ketroc right about now. More and more forces streaming in from Blitchiz right now. Both players' economies suffering quite a bit actually, but you could say that Ketroc's economy is suffering even more, as his entire forces consist of one SCV and one tank, and there is the GG from Ketroc, signalling the end of a really, really epic game, and I'm really glad that I got the opportunity to cast it. Yeah, cool beans, yay! Alright guys, I believe the Corvid reactor, just to correct myself from earlier, increases the amount of energy ravens start with. Okay, awesome. It's just one of those ones that happens so rarely that unfortunately I didn't know it all too well. Dave. Okay, anyway, right guys, thank you very much for watching. Thanks to Blitchiz for sending this video out. The link to his stream will be in the description below. If I can find Ketroc's stream, it will be in the description below also. Otherwise, I'll make sure I put in his YouTube account as well, because I think it's his YouTube account. I will just have to investigate that a little bit further. But anyway, guys, thank you very much. Have a very nice day, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.